Number 3 seed Chico State University Wildcats in the men's championship game at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Again, Cal State Stanislaus versus Chico State. And Mark Serber and Ray Dietz will have the play-by-play for you right here on Liquid Event TV. Meanwhile, we're just about set for our game. And in just a moment, we'll have the national anthem here at CBB Arena in Ontario, California.
Today's first ladies game features the number 1 Cal Poly Pomona Broncos taking on the number 5 Cal State LA Golden Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we ask that you please rise at this time, and gentlemen and boys, please remove your hats and caps for the singing of our national anthem. Our anthem to be sung tonight by Ashley Eddy.
Cal State Los Angeles as the number 5 played the number 4 seed UC San Diego Tritons last night, and with 30 seconds before halftime, UC San Diego had a 41-20 lead. They led by 18 points at the break, but again, they were down by 21 points, 30 seconds until halftime. Well, Cal State LA in the second half outscored UC San Diego 37-18, and they finally took the lead with 9.9 seconds remaining as Cal State LA, and even though it was a 5 versus a 4, the Tritons were favored as Cal State LA shocks UC San Diego 60-59. Meanwhile, for the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos, as the number 1 seed, they had a bye directly into this semifinal. 21-5 on the season, 18-4 in the CCAA. And we should mention with the win last night by Cal State LA, the Golden Eagles are now 17-10 on the year. But again, the huge shock in terms of the men's bracket, as number 1 seed Cal State San Bernardino fell, and the number 2 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos fell. And now we'll see what happens here in the women's semifinal. Our other semifinal game in the women's bracket tonight, coming up at 8 o'clock, that will be the number 3 seed Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros versus the number 2 seed Chico State Wildcats. But right now we're set for women's semifinal number 1, the California State University Los Angeles Golden Eagles and the California Polytechnic State University Pomona Broncos. Great to be with you live on Liquid Event TV. A couple of good games already. You have to love March Madness. And watching in the hospitality room, 2 of the TV screens in that hospitality room, following other March Madness basketball games in the conference, Missouri Valley Conference, Summit League, Missouri Valley Conference, the Pac-12 Women's Conference. on the Pac-12 networks. All sorts of action this weekend. Everybody trying to punch their ticket to the NCAA playoffs. And the winner in the men's bracket and the women's bracket tomorrow night will receive an automatic berth to the NCAA West. Destiny LaFontaine jumping for Cal State LA, and Destiny has the ball tipped right back to her. So the Golden Eagles will have possession. Cal State LA in the black uniforms trimmed in yellow and white. Cal Poly Pomona in their white home uniforms trimmed in green. A little bit of white, or check that, a little bit of gold piping around the letters where it says Broncos in the front. The first shot of the ball game is a miss, and coming up with the rebound is Ashley Levitt for Cal Poly Pomona. Ariel Marsh with the basketball, having a great season. Marsh averaging 17 points a game. She missed all of last year due to injury. She's been a major component of this offense for head coach Danelle Bishop at Cal Poly Pomona.
No foul. Check that. Shot clock to reset to 15, please.
So the shot clock will be reset to 15 seconds. Cal Poly Pomona will have possession of the ball. And again, we're just underway here, 43 seconds into the contest tonight from Ontario. Shot by Jakey, rebounded by LaFontaine. Coming into the front court is Faith Fantroy. Her sister, Tina Fantroy, also part of this offense for Cal State LA, as a shot from the corner was an air ball, and Marsh steals the ball away from Belt, and Ariel Marsh goes the distance, and Cal Poly Pomona has an early 2-0 lead. Alicia Bell from Carson gives the ball to Paige Melville. Melville, a 5'8" junior guard from Terrigal, Australia. In fact, there's 4 Australians on this Cal State LA team, and Ariel Marsh. So right now it's Ariel Marsh 5 and Cal Poly Pomona 2. With the basketball, J.J. Judge, just from Roseville. Marsh on the far side. 30-second shot clock in women's college basketball compared to 35 for the men. And shot missed by Jakey. Check that out. It was Jada Blackwell. Tina Fantroy trying to feed it into LaFontaine. Ball gets away from her, but it's picked up quickly by Faith Fantroy. We got a reset on the 30-second shot clock. Trying to drive along the baseline, Paige Melville. And I think they're going to say that Melville stepped out of bounds. Janelle Jones in her 4th year, the coach of Cal State LA. Danelle Bishop also in her 4th season as the head coach at Cal Poly Pomona. Marsh drives. Ball ends up in the air and finally grabbed by Melville for Cal State LA. Belt in the lane. Her layup was an air ball. And the Golden Eagles stepped out of bounds. One of the players outside that line here at Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario. Lauren Jakey into the front court for Cal Poly Pomona. Gives it to Blackwell. And another basket by J.J. Judge. So it's 5-2 in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. So Melville of a three-pointer, and it's 6-5. Cal State Los Angeles with a 1-point lead. 16.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Coming back the other way very quickly, Fantroy for Cal State LA. Paige Melville for 3, air ball. And the rebound picked up by Jakey. Feet underneath to Bankhead, or check that, Blackwell. Alicia Bell called for the foul, or first personal foul. Jada Blackwell will go to the line, a 6'1" junior center from Rancho Cucamonga. Transfer from Arizona State University in Tempe. And she makes the first shot. It gives us our first tie of the ball game at the 16-14 mark at 6-6. And the second one misses, and the rebound by Fantroy. So 6-6 tie here between Cal State LA and Cal Poly Pomona. The winner will go to the women's championship game at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Actually, check that out. It's going to be a 7:30 start. 7:30 tomorrow night in the women's championship. Blackwell taking some time, giving the ball to Jakey, a 5'9" junior guard from Ridgefield, Washington. Jakey over the near side to Tyler Woods. Her shot comes off the rim and the ball bounces out of bounds. So with 15 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the first half, there's a timeout on the floor with the score. Cal State LA 6, Cal Poly Pomona 6. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. Four and a half minutes gone in the first half. Cal Poly Pomona and Cal State LA in a 6-6 tie. And Cal State LA has the basketball as they inbound along their own baseline in the backcourt, coming past the 10-second line. Paige Melville, but the ball bounces out of bounds. In fact, Paige will go over and retrieve it. Melville, again, a 5'8" junior guard from Australia. Faith Fantroy. There's a ball into Alicia Belt. Belch rolls off the rim and rebounded by Lauren Jakey for Cal Poly Pomona. Ariel Marsh, second leading scorer on this Cal Poly Pomona team, as she goes down. As we take a look at Star Watch, Jada Blackwell averaging 18 points a game for Cal Poly Pomona. Ariel Marsh, 17 points, and J.J. Judge, 10 points for Cal State LA. They're paced by Paige Melville, averaging 15 points per game. Destiny LaFontaine averaging 10 points per game. And Iwe Okamboa averaging 9 points per game. 6-6 tie. 15:07 to play in the first half. Faith Fantroy is called for first personal foul, third team foul, and at the free throw line is Jada Blackwell. Blackwell shooting 64% from the stripe this season. And she makes one out of the two. She's 2 for 3 at the line. And Cal Poly Pomona leads 7-6 at the 15-minute mark in the first half. Off-balance shot by Keisha Powell, and Cal Poly Pomona coming back the other way. That was part of the problem Cal State LA had last night against UC San Diego, and why they were down by 21 points right before halftime, as Driving to the basket along the baseline, Ariel Marsh. Marsh unofficially now with 7 points in the game. Foul against Cal Poly Pomona. That's going to be against Lauren Jakey. That's also the first team foul of the game. At the free throw line, Kasia Powell. Powell this season, a 72% free throw shooter. Nine to 6 in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. 14-16 until halftime. Second one is good as well. Paige Melville already with 6 points in the game for Cal State LA. And it's a 9-7 lead for Cal Poly Pomona. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Jakey trying to go around Blackwell, shoots from 15. That comes off the rim, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Again, in case you're just joining us, Cal State LA in the black uniforms trimmed in gold and white. And Cal Poly Pomona in the white uniforms trimmed in green. Cal State LA moving around the perimeter. 15 on the shot clock. Now driving to the basket. And foul from behind is Kasia Powell. Powell, a 5'6" junior guard from Hawaii. Powell this season at the line. Again, a 72% free throw shooter. Already made her first two, now make that 3 for 3 from the line. Unofficially, of course, towards the end of halftime, we'll run down all the stats. Jakey goes out, and Ashley Lovett, a 6-foot junior forward from Murrieta, comes into the game for Cal Poly Pomona. And Powell makes the second one. And we have our second tied scorer of the ball game at 9-9 at the 13:36 mark. Marsh gets the ball into Blackwell. Blackwell, shot is short, gets her own rebound. Kicks it out to Marsh. Marsh from straight away, 19 feet. That comes off the rim. Rebounded by Lovett. But coming up with the ball, Paige Melville for Cal State LA. Feeds quickly underneath. Basket good by Iwe Okabangwa. Or Okunboa, we should say. Iwe Okunboa. A 5'5" junior guard from Sacramento. So Iwe Okunboa at the free throw line. And the first one is good. In fact, the only one is good. She's a 59% free throw shooter. And it's 12-9 in favor of Cal State LA. The number 5 seed so far proving to be a tough opponent for the number 1 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos. And there's a 3-point basket by J.J. Judge, her second of the ball game, 6 points. And we're back to a 12-12 tie at the 12:47 mark. Now they say, no, it's only going to be a 2-point basket, so it's 12-11 in favor of Cal State LA instead of being a tie. J.J. Judge called for a first personal foul, 4th team foul against Cal Poly Pomona. And again, Iwe Okamboa at the free throw line. That one comes off the rim. 12.5 minutes to play. Cal State LA 14, Cal Poly Pomona 11. J.J. Judge. That's the ball into Marsh. And Marsh looks like she's fouled with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Iwe Okamboa called for her first personal foul, fourth team. Clock is reset to 30 seconds on the shot clock as Judge inbounds to Ariel Marsh. Marsh, a 5'8", redshirt junior out of Chino Hills. And Marsh pulls up to shoot and scores. Ariel Marsh already unofficially with 7 points in the half. She has 7 of the 13 for Cal Poly Pomona as Cal State LA has a 14-11 lead. And there's a timeout on the floor with 11:55 left in the first half with the score. Cal State LA 14 and Cal Poly Pomona 13. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. And of course, a reminder, you can follow Liquid Event TV on Facebook and also online on Twitter on liquidevent.tv. More basketball action coming up tonight at 8 o'clock. It'll be the number 3 seed Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros versus the number 2 seed Chico State Wildcats in the other women's bracket semifinals. Tomorrow night, the championship game, Cal State Stanislaus versus Chico State, the 4 and 3 seeds, as the 1 and 2 seeds fell today in the semifinals. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Mark Serber and Ray Dietz will have the play-by-play for you. And then tomorrow night at 7:30, Mark Serber and I will also have the women's championship game for you. So 5 and 7:30 tomorrow here at CBB Arena in Ontario. Hope you make your plans to join us. Both teams coming back out on the floor here. 11:55 to go in the first half. Golden Eagles 14 and the Broncos 13. Tyler Woods gets the ball to Marsh. Down to Blackwell. Blackwell's shot comes off the rim. The putback by Blackwell. Marsh launches a shot, comes off the rim, battle for the rebound, and is going to be taken up court by Powell for Cal State LA and going coast to coast to score. And with 11:10 to play in the first half, Cal State LA 16, Cal Poly Pomona 15. Will a number 1 seed survive here in the women's bracket? Cal State San Bernardino cannot do so in the men's bracket. And driving to the basket, we'll see who gets them. It looks like Blackwell. Earlier you mentioned the shot by Blackwell that she put back. Actually, the initial shot was taken by Lovett. Blackwell. That's the ball over to Tyler Woods. And Woods can't hold on to it. So Lovett, Blackwell, Marsh, Jakey, and J.J. Judd's out there on the floor right now for Cal Poly Pomona. Coming up on the midway point shortly here in the first half, 16-15. LA with the lead over Pomona. I'm not sure what Dusty LaFontaine, where she was trying to pass the ball, but it went right to the Cal Poly Pomona bench. LaFontaine, the 6'2" senior center from Simi Valley for Cal State LA. And it remains a 1-point Golden Eagles lead, 16-15 over Cal Poly Pomona. Judge goes over to Marsh. On the far side to Jakey. Now back to Lovett. Bounce pass. And now ball moves back to Marsh. Marsh
to the basket, battle for the rebound, and it's cleared away by Iwe Okamboa, but she loses control. And as Marsh picked up the ball, whistle and a foul. We'll see who it's called against. Bree Parsons of Cal State LA called for a first personal foul. 5th team foul against Cal State LA. We have to follow the PA announcer here because the scoreboard does not have room to show fouls or either personal or team fouls, unlike a lot of the arenas around the California Collegiate Athletic Association. So 9:51 to go, just past the 10-minute mark. It's still a 16-15 lead. Oh my goodness, in and out. Wow, 9 times out of 10, that shot by Bree Parsons would have gone in. Parsons, a 6-foot sophomore guard, again from Terrigal, Australia. 3 of them are from that town. Georgia Williams from Townsville, Australia. And I believe those towns are in New South Wales. So 9:45 until halftime, still 16-15. LA will inbound with 29 seconds on the shot clock out of a possible 30 as the ball comes in to Okamboa. Out of Parsons. Parsons trying to feed it in on the near side to LaFontaine. Her off-balance shot comes off the glass, and it's rebounded by Ashley Lovett for Cal Poly Pomona. Lovett, a 6-foot junior forward from Marietta. Marsh with the ball on the far side. Bounce pass to Lovett. Lovett drives in the lane, and she goes down hard, but she gets right back up again. Broncos will inbound with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Jakey, 10 to shoot. 9-10 on the scoreboard. Now the ball stolen away by Okamboa. Her shot doesn't go, but the putback by Powell does. So Powell with 5 points in the ball game now. That one is a miss. She's 3 for 4 at the line. And it's 18-15. Cal State LA with a 3-point lead over Cal Poly Pomona. And again, Okamboa almost stole the ball. Jakey will inbound for Cal Poly Pomona right in front of the Cal State LA bench. And it comes into Blackwell, back to Jakey. Marsh, a little cross dribble there. Shot clock to 7 seconds. 5 seconds into Lovett, and Lovett scores. And it's 18-17. That's Lovett's first points of the ball game. They're coming with 8:27 to play. LaFontaine knocked the ball away and trying to save it was Jakey, and she does so. And Jakey crossed the midcourt line, that 10-second line back in women's basketball. Marsh for 3 off the rim. A tip drill here. Lovett gets the ball back, and Lovett scores. 4 points now for Lovett. And Cal Poly Pomona has the lead 19-18 with 7:56 to go in the first half. Parsons for 3 off the iron. And Ariel Marsh coming up with the rebound. Now J.J. Judge for 3. That's 9 points for Judge unofficially. I'll take that. It's going to be 8 points. We had her with 3 threes, but she actually added 2. Well, no question there. Paige Melville. So Melville, that's her 3rd tray here in the first half. And Cal Poly Pomona has the lead, 22-21, under 7 minutes to play. Into the front court comes Powell for Cal State LA. Fires over to Parsons. And back to Fantroy. LaFontaine. 30-second shot clock down to 15. Powell's off-balance shot is rebounded by Lovett for Cal Poly Pomona. Broncos with a 1-point lead over the Golden Eagles. Mars drives along the baseline, scores, and I think she's going to go to the free throw line as well. And there's a timeout on the floor with 6:29 left in the first half. With the score, the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos 24 and the Cal State LA Golden Eagles 21. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. David Smock, great to be with you tonight, our entire Liquid Event TV crew. 24-21, Cal Poly Pomona with a 3-point lead, 6:29 to go in the first half. So Melville so far with 9 points in the ball game to lead the scoring for Cal State LA. Ariel Marsh will go to the free throw line. She has 8. Marsh 0 for 2 at the free throw line, and she makes that one. So now for Marsh, she has 10 in the game. Meanwhile, for Cal Poly Pomona, Marsh with 10, JJ Judge with 8 points, Ashley Lovett and Jada Blackwell with 4 points apiece. 25-21, Cal Poly Pomona with a 4-point lead, coming up on the 6-minute mark of the first half. 15 on the shot clock. Now Lovett goes down as she tried to drive along the baseline. So possession of the ball will go to Cal State LA. 1 possession ball game. Well, 3 and a free throw would tie it up, but 4-point lead right now for Cal Poly Pomona. Again, 25-21 in favor of the Broncos. The second semifinal at 8 o'clock tonight. It'll be Cal State Dominguez Hills and Chico State. A loose ball, and coming up with it is Tyler Woods for Cal Poly Pomona. Feed into Blackwell. Blackwell's shot doesn't go. And Lovett. Let's see if they're going to, who will go to the free throw line as Lovett tried to go up. Melville called for a second personal foul, and with 5:27 remaining, the 7th team foul against Cal State LA. So it'll be 1 plus the penalty bonus, or the 1-and-1, as the first one is made by Lovett. Levitt now with 5 points in the game. And she makes both of them. Levitt with 6 points. And it's a 6-point lead. Cal Poly Pomona 27, Cal State LA 21 with 5:22 to play in the first half. Coming back, Tyler Woods. Woods, who kind of lost the handle as she was going to go for an underhanded shot. And there's a timeout on the floor. 5:15 left in the first half with the score. Cal Poly Pomona 27, Cal State LA 21. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. In our last update, Cal State LA shooting 7 of 20 on the floor, 35%, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 50%, 4 of 7 at the free throw line, and 3-point basket by Tyler Woods. And now a 30-21 lead as the Broncos have extended it to 9 points with 4:49 until intermission. Follow-up shot, that one doesn't go. LaFontaine had a shot at it. And Woods with the rebound for Cal Poly Pomona. Little 18-9 run here for Cal Poly Pomona in about the last 7 or 8 minutes here. One of the reasons why they lead 30-21. Under 10 on the shot clock, air ball. J.J. Judge with the rebound, a 30-second reset. I don't know if they're going to say he didn't touch the rim. Doesn't matter. Blackwell with the 3. That's 7 for Blackwell now. 33-21. 12-point advantage for Cal Poly Pomona. The number 1 seed against the number 4, or no, check that, number 5 seed, Cal State LA Golden Eagles. And again, coming up with the ball for Cal Poly Pomona is Tyler Woods. Woods, a 5'2" junior guard from Corona. And there's another timeout on the floor with 3:33 to go in the first half with the score. Cal Poly Pomona 33, Cal State LA 21. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. We were talking about the stats for Cal State LA. For Cal Poly Pomona, and these were updated at the 6.5-minute mark about 3 minutes ago. Cal Poly Pomona, 10 of 23 on the floor, 44%, 2 of 6 beyond the arc, 33%, and 2 of 4 at the free throw line, 50%. So Cal State LA has gone to the charity stripe 7 times, only 4 for Cal Poly Pomona. We'll have all the official updated stats for you at the intermission. So 3.5 minutes to go first half, and a 12-point lead, 33-21 in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. Judge launches a 3. And coming up with the rebound, Tina Fantroy. Tina Fantroy and her sister Faith, both members of this Cal State LA basketball team. Paige Melville now with 9 points to lead Cal State LA. 9 points by Ariel Marsh. Paige Melville for 3. So give Melville now 12 points in the ball game to lead all scorers. Judge, she misses. Woods with the rebound, and a 30-second reset on the shot clock for Cal Poly Pomona. Judge into Blackwell. Blackwell's shot is short and grabbed out of the air by Powell. Powell trying to get it into LaFontaine, went off of Lovett. And now a pass down court is intercepted by Alicia Bell for Cal State LA. Melville to LaFontaine, over the near side to Tina Fantroy. 5'6" junior guard from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Offensive foul on number 21, Tina Fantroy, her first personal.
And again, there's a timeout on the floor. Now with 2:11 to play in the first half with the score. Cal Poly Pomona 33 and Cal State LA 24. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. (21-12) in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. It was a 12-11 Cal State LA lead at about the 12:47 mark, and now it's 33-24 in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. So again, a 21-12 run here in about the last 10 minutes for the Broncos. Now just hit the 2-minute mark as Ariel Marsh goes to the basket and scores. Marsh has had a great first half. Marsh now unofficially with 11 points in the ball game. 20 on the shot clock for Cal State LA. Shot clock down to 5. Scoreboard at a minute 25. And long distance shot by Fantroy. Ariel Marsh with the rebound for Cal Poly Pomona. 3-point shot attempt by Jordan Henry. That one misses. And Melville comes up with the rebound for LA. 35-24. An 11-point lead as we hit the 1-minute mark here in the first half. Belt shot short, her own rebound. That one doesn't go. And Ashley Lovett comes up with the ball for the Broncos. Shot clock running just under 20 seconds ahead of the scoreboard. 15 to shoot. 31 seconds in the half. Fadeaway shot by Marsh. Rebounded by Blackwell. And again, Jada Blackwell, 6'1" junior center out of Rancho Cucamonga, and a transfer to Cal Poly Pomona from Arizona State. Shot clock has been turned off, so the Broncos can work for the last shot of the first half. 21 seconds, 20 seconds, Marsh with the basketball. She brings it out near the circle. Scoreboard now at 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 6, 4. Marsh's shot off the backboard, and the clock stops with 1.4 seconds remaining in the first half. And the inbounds to Melville, buzzer sounds, and that's the end of the first half with the score. The Cal Poly Pomona Broncos 35 and the Cal State LA Golden Eagles 24. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV.
1 minute to play. Ten seconds, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. St. Adelaide's and Holy Rosary Grammar Schools with an exhibition here at Citizens Business Bank Arena. Thank you, ladies. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our halftime. And we're going to have the rolling the ball to the center court, I do believe, yes. We have DJ, Amari, Mariah, and Brianna. And one at a time, they're going to try to roll the ball and get it to stop closest to the center court line. Now that big blue line that runs right down the middle of the court here at midcourt.
Cal Poly Pomona with a 35-24 lead over Cal State LA as halftime is winding down. Taking a look at the stats for Cal State LA, the Golden Eagles, 8 of 27 on the floor, 30%, 4 of 8 beyond the arc, and 4 of 7 at the line. That's 57%. Leading scorer, Paige Melville with 12 points. Powell with 7, and Okamboa with 5. For Cal Poly Pomona, they shot 13 of 34, 38%. 4 of 11 beyond the arc, 36%, and 5 of 7 at the free throw line, 71%. Leading scorer, Ariel Marsh with 11 points, 8 points by J.J. Judge, and also 7 points added by Jada Blackwell, and 6 by Ashley Lovett. In terms of rebounding, Cal State LA with 21 rebounds, 23 for Cal Poly Pomona. But the big advantage there might be in turnovers. 9 turnovers by Cal Poly Pomona in the first half. Not too bad. 15 committed by Cal State LA. Largest lead, Cal State LA by 3 points at the 13:09 mark. Cal Poly Pomona led by 12 points with 4:08, and right now they're up by 11. A couple other stats for Cal State LA and Cal Poly Pomona. In the paint, Cal Poly Pomona with 12 points to 6 for LA. Offense off of turnovers, 16 for Cal Poly Pomona, 5 for Cal State LA. Second chance points, 9 for the Broncos, 2 for LA. And Cal State LA with 12 points off the bench compared to only 3 for Cal Poly Pomona. The score has been tied twice, and the lead has changed 8 times. As we get set here for the second half, J.J. Judge will inbound the basketball right in front of our Liquid Event TV broadcast location courtside here at CBB Arena in Ontario. And we're underway with the second half. Again, Cal Poly Pomona leading 35-24. The first shot by Blackwell, rebounded by LaFontaine. As far as personal fouls are concerned, nobody has more than 2, so both teams in good shape as far as fouls are concerned at this point of the ball game. And the ball sails out of bounds.
By the Golden Eagles, it'll be Bronco ball back court. Substitution for the Golden Eagles, Iway Okamboa into the ball game.
Iway Okamboa comes into the ball game for Cal State LA. 20 on the shot clock. Again, women's college basketball has a 30-second shot clock, 35 for the men. Marsh with the basketball. Clock down to 10. Drives to the basket along the baseline and scores. Ariel Marsh. And that's 13 in the ball game now for Marsh. And it's 37-24, 13-point lead. And that's now the biggest of the ball game. For Cal Poly Pomona, now up by a baker's dozen. LaFontaine, off-balance shot. Rebound comes right into the hands of Lauren Jakey. Jakey fires over on the far side to Marsh. Marsh in low to Levitt, now to Blackwell. Blackwell feeds it back over to Jakey, and Jakey launches a 3 off the rim. And the rebound taken by Okamboa. 18:28 left in regulation. And there's a timeout on the floor. As you mentioned, 18:28 to play in the second half. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 37 and Cal State LA 24. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. And I want to send a shout out and kudos to the Cal Poly Pomona Pep Band in attendance tonight. Always kind of adds something to March Madness with a live band in the arena. And we have Cal Poly Pomona's Pep Band here in attendance tonight. Lots of action taking place on television, also in our tournament here. The CCAA tournament men's championship game, 5 o'clock tomorrow night. And it's going to be Cal State Stanislaus, the number 4 seed, against the number 3 seed Chico State Wildcats. You may say, well, gee, David Smock, how did that happen? Well, Cal State Stanislaus scored the first 16 points this afternoon and beat the number 1 seed and nationally ranked number 12 team, Cal State San Bernardino, 72-67. And then in the second men's semifinal, Chico State upset the number 2 seed, Cal Poly Pomona, 77-73. So the 1 and 2 seeds have fallen. And it'll be Cal State Stanislaus and Chico State at 5 o'clock tomorrow in the men's championship game here in Ontario. And of course, we'll have the action for you right here live on Liquid Event TV. Jakey with 20 seconds left on the shot clock to Marsh, top of the key, over the near side to Lovett. Bounce pass into Blackwell. Blackwell drives, ball comes off the backboard, but there's going to be a foul. LaFontaine for a second personal foul. Fontaine got into foul trouble early last night in the win against UC San Diego. Blackwell at the free throw line. And she makes the first one. So she's now 3 of 5 at the line. Makes both of them. 9 points in the ball game now for Jada Blackwell of Cal Poly Pomona, and a 15-point lead, 39-25. And if Cal State LA is not careful, they're going to get run out of the gym here. As the Golden Eagles trail by 15 points. Well, there's Paige Melville for 2. That gives her 14 in the ball game for the Golden Eagles. And it's 39-26 in favor of the Broncos. 17:39 left. Blackwell being guarded by LaFontaine. Gives the ball to Marsh. Marsh along the baseline. That one hits the side of the backboard. And the ball is rebounded by Alicia Belt for the Golden Eagles. Feed into Belt, going to the basket, and Belt scores. Well, they're going to give it to Okunboa. Thought it was Belt, but we'll go with that. That means 7 for Okunboa in the ball game tonight for Cal State LA.
Shot clock to 28 seconds.
We're going to adjust the shot clock to 28 seconds. 17:04 to play. Cal Poly Pomona 39 and Cal State LA 28. Jakey, Marsh. Marsh being guarded by Okunboa. Marsh kicks it out to Jakey. 15 on the shot clock. Now Marsh from the far side for 3. Long rebound taken by Jakey, and a reset of the 30-second shot clock for Cal Poly Pomona. Lovett's shot comes off the front of the rim, and rebound taken by Powell for LA. And a nice feed to Iway Okunboa. And Okunboa now with 9 points in the ball game, and there's a timeout on the floor with 16:26 left in the game. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 39, Cal State LA 30. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV.
Here's the Cal Poly Pomona pep band and cheer.
The Cal Poly Pomona cheerleaders and the Cal Poly Pomona pep band entertaining the fans here at Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario. This is the home of the Ontario Reign minor league ice hockey team. That's an affiliate of the Los Angeles Kings and Winnipeg Jets of the National Hockey League. Tonight it's basketball. Ariel Marsh with the ball, gives it to Jada Blackwell. Go over to Lauren Jakey. Jakey with 14 on the shot clock, and now there's going to be a foul.
On number 24, Faith Van Troy. Second personal. Second team foul.
Jakey gives it to Blackwell in the corner. Coming up with it is Okunboa. Ariel Marsh with 13 points to lead Cal Poly Pomona. And Paige Melville leads all scorer, 14. And Okunboa starting out strong here in the second half. That should be 6 points for Okunboa just in the second half alone. And if that's the case, that means Okunboa, she has 11 points in the ball game. 39-32, Cal Poly Pomona leading by 7. Last night, Cal State LA down by 21 points, 30 seconds before halftime. Came back to shock UC San Diego. Will LA make another run tonight here in the second half to upend number 1 seed Cal Poly Pomona? Marsh from long distance, off the rim, loose ball, handled by Destiny LaFontaine. 7-point lead. Cal State LA with a bucket here could get it down to 4 points. Melville launches from long range. And it's J.J. Judge with the rebound for the Broncos. Jakey into the front court with the basketball. 14:44 to play in the game. Judge from long distance, that's an air ball. More of a brick. That one wasn't even close to the basket. She might have lost her grip on the ball as she was getting ready to shoot it. Just didn't have enough oomph behind it. That's one of the reasons why I think the ball may have slipped out of her hand during the shot. But Cal State LA will have the basketball. Powell trying to bounce pass it to LaFontaine. Went off the leg of J.J. Judge. So because of kicking the ball, Cal State LA will inbound along the baseline. They will have 24 seconds left on the shot clock. And Tyler Woods comes up with the rebound after the missed shot for Cal Poly Pomona. There were so many bodies underneath the basket, we couldn't tell who was trying to make the shot. Keisha Powell called for her first personal foul. Now Powell with 7 points in the game, and Melville falls down, and there's going to be a foul there against Cal Poly Pomona.
Foul is on number 24, Ashley Lovett. Second personal.
Second personal foul against Ashley Lovett. Van Troy in trouble. Gets it away to Melville. Melville shoots from 6. That one doesn't make connection, but Melville, a second shot after receiving the rebound pass. And now Belt, she doesn't get it to go in either. So Cal State LA had 3 shots at the bucket, and none of them would fall in for the Golden Eagles. 39-32, Cal Poly Pomona leads by 7 points. 13:34 left. And now a launch shot from long distance by Mion Dingle. Cal Poly Pomona comes back the other way. And check that, Cal State LA. Golden Eagles trailing only by 7 points. Got a couple of field goals and a three-pointer. That'd be a brand new ball game. Driving to the basket, Kasia Powell. Rebounds now even, the last updated stat that we have. 25-25 off the boards for both teams. Almost evenly split for Cal Poly Pomona. 12 offensive rebounds, 13 defensive rebounds. 9 offensive rebounds and 16 defensive boards for Cal State LA. Beyond Dingle called for a first personal foul. Second team foul against Cal Poly Pomona. And J.J. Judge coming up with the ball for Cal Poly Pomona. 39-32. We've been at the 7-point differential between these two ball clubs for a while now. In fact, in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds, we have only had 2 points scored, and that was by Cal State LA. Faith Fantroy comes out of the ball game for Cal State LA. And it looks like Samantha Lee has come in. Lee, a 5'3" freshman guard from Monterey Park. Alicia Belt also goes out of the ball game. And I believe Iway Okunboa comes back in. 39-32, Cal Poly Pomona. Long shot taken by Dingle. Dingle, listed as a guard freshman, 6'1" junior out of Pasadena. Came out of Maranatha High School. Ashley Lovett comes back into the ball game as well. So Melville with the basketball for LA, still 39-32. 7-point lead for the Broncos. Number 1 seed in this women's bracket. Long shot by Melville. And coming up with the rebound was Okunboa. Lovett called for a third personal foul, so she becomes the first player to be in major foul trouble. And there's a timeout on the floor with 12-12 left in the game. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 39, Cal State LA 32, and you're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. A reminder, coming up in about an hour and 20 minutes from now, we'll have the second women's bracket semifinal. The number 3 seed, California State University Dominguez Hills Toros versus the number 2 seed, Chico State University Wildcats. And the winner of this game will face the winner of Cal State Dominguez Hills versus Chico State tomorrow night at 7:30 in the women's championship game. Mark Serber and I will have the call of the game for you after the men's championship game. That's at 5 o'clock tomorrow night between Cal State Stanislaus and Chico State. Mark Serber and Ray Dietz will call the action of that game. So a lot more basketball still here at the CBB Arena in Ontario. One more game tonight, and then the championship games tomorrow night. Again, 39-32, 7-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona. And now a hand check foul.
Number 15, Tyler Woods, first personal team.
Tyler Woods called for a first personal foul, 5th team foul here in the second half against Cal Poly Pomona.
7-point Bronco lead.
Offensive foul. It's going to be against Melville. Yeah, Melville has her third personal foul. And Lovett with 3. 14 points by Melville, 11 by Okamboa for Cal State LA, 13 points by Marsh, 9 by Jada Blackwell for Cal Poly Pomona. Still 39-32, 11:45, and the clock counting down here at CBB Arena in Ontario. And loose coming up with the steal was Okamboa, and the basket good. That's 8 for Okamboa here in the second half. She had 5 points in the first half and went 1 for 2 at the free throw line. 39-34, Marsh's shot in and out. Blackwell trying to go up for a putback. Toros on it. Check that. Cal State LA, Freudian slip there on a 10-4 run. Cal State LA is 10-4 run on Cal Poly Pomona. That goes from too many years of calling the Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros games. Anyway, traveling called against Cal Poly Pomona. Those kind of unforced turnovers does drive coaches batty. I'm sure Donnell Bishop not too pleased with that. And now some backcourt pressure, but Melville breaks it and comes into the front court. Gives it to LaFontaine. LaFontaine is mugged underneath the basket. Woods called for a second personal foul, 6th team foul here in the second half. And there's a timeout on the floor with 10:52 left in the second half. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 39, Cal State LA 34. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. In the second half, Cal State LA, 4 of 11 on the floor, 36%. For Cal Poly Pomona in the second half, they are 1 of 15, 6.7% or 7%, and that explains why all of a sudden it's a 39-34 lead. Cal Poly Pomona led by 11 at the half. But Cal Poly Pomona has missed 14 of their 15 shots in the second half. LaFontaine at the free throw line misses the first one. No points in the game, at least not in the first half. That's correct. Still no points as we look at the updated stat sheet. Second one is good. So LaFontaine 1 of 1 at the line. And it's 39-35, only a 4-point lead for the Broncos. I almost begin to wonder if this is an MO for Cal State LA. Get behind early and then make a furious comeback in the second half. They did it last night. They're starting to do it tonight. The three-point basket rattles through for Lauren Jakey. And that's Jakey's first points in the ball game. 42-35, back to a 7-point margin. LaFontaine turns around, bank shot is good. LaFontaine, after not scoring, all of a sudden has 3 points. Coming up on the midway point of the second half, Ariel Marsh. And they'll love it. Her shot bounces, and exactly 10 minutes to play in the second half. 42-37, a 5-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona. And couple of players colliding, going down. One of them is Powell. She's okay. Jada Blackwell was the other player for Cal Poly Pomona on the hardwood. Always amazes me, and I think they're going to bring out, well, Levitt already had three personals. J.J. Judge comes back in, so I'm not sure who the foul was called against. The scoreboard here does not have the ability to show team fouls or personal fouls. Powell at the free throw line, and she makes the first one. Powell was 3 of 5 at the line. Powell now with 8 points in the game. And it rolls around and falls through as Powell makes the second one as well. So Powell 5 of 7 from the line tonight and 9 points for Cal State LA. Reverse underhand shot by Blackwell. Blackwell with 11. And it's 44-39 with 9:35 to play. "15 seconds on the shot clock, 9:25 on the scoreboard. Now 10 to shoot. Melville trying to get closer to the basket. Off balance shot falls in for Paige Melville. That's Melville's 4th point here in the second half. She has 16 in the ball game. And offensive foul. Tyler Woods called for a 3rd personal foul. That's now the 8th team foul against Cal Poly Pomona. So Cal State LA will shoot 1 and 1 the last 9 minutes of the ball game. A little bit underneath that now. 8:49 to play. 15 on the shot clock for Cal State LA. LaFontaine gives the ball to Okumboa. They move the ball around, trying to feed it underneath to Okumboa, and Okumboa has to chase it as the ball bounces out of bounds, and possession will go to Cal Poly Pomona. 8:37 left in regulation. A 1-possession ball game. Cal Poly Pomona 44 and Cal State LA 41. (16-5). Cal State LA on a little run against Cal Poly Pomona. Blackwell diving to the basket. LaFontaine called for her 3rd personal foul. Blackwell at the free throw line, and she makes that one. They're like 5 of 7 at the free throw line. And she gets the second one as well. So Blackwell unofficially with 13 points in the ball game. Cal State LA down by 5. Well, make it a 3-point game. As Okumboa, 5 points in the first half, and Okumboa now with what I have unofficially is 13. And Blackwell now with 15 points, and it's a 48-43 lead for Cal Poly Pomona over Cal State LA with 7.5 minutes to go. 15 on the shot clock. Melville launches for 3. Paige Melville, 19 points for Cal State LA. Back to a 1-possession ball game, 48-46. Cal Poly Pomona leads by 2. And all of a sudden, what looked to be maybe a blowout has turned into a very close game. Ashley Lovett, her first bucket in the second half to give her 8 unofficially, and it's 50-46. Cal Poly Pomona back up with a 4-point lead. The ball bounces out of bounds. Ariel Marsh is going to come back into the ball game for Cal Poly Pomona. But not before there's a timeout on the floor with 6:47 left in the game with the score. Cal Poly Pomona 50 and Cal State LA 46. And you're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. In the second half, Cal State LA has outscored Cal Poly Pomona 22-15, but Cal Poly Pomona holds on to the lead 50-46. I'm David Smock from Television Sports America and the Toro Sports Network at California State University, Dominguez Hills. Great to be with you on this Friday night, March Madness. Doesn't get any better than this. And a tight game in our first women's bracket semifinal at 8 o'clock tonight. It'll be Cal State Dominguez Hills versus Chico State. Right now, Cal Poly Pomona holding on to a 4-point lead, 50-46. Ariel Marsh along the baseline decides to kick it out to Judge. Now over to Blackwell with 4 on the shot clock. Air ball. And it's grabbed by Okumboa for Cal State LA. Very quickly down to Powell, and Powell with the layup. And don't look now, but here come the Cal State LA Golden Eagles. They only trail by 2, down by 11 at the half. It's 50-48 with 6 minutes remaining in regulation. We have had one tied score, and coming up with the ball, Cal State LA. Belt gives it to Melville. We've had 2 tied scores in the contest. 10 on the shot clock. Belt from Carson with the ball. 5 to shoot. Powell, off balance shot. Oh my goodness, in and out. And the rebound by J.J. Judge for Cal Poly Pomona. Woods to Judge. Judge launches a 3 and connects on that one. J.J. Judge. It's unofficially now for J.J. Judge in the ball game, 11 points, and it's a 53-48 5-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona. Under 5 minutes to play. 4:54 remaining. 11 on the shot clock, and Belt connects for 2. For Belt, that's her first field goal, or actually first points of the night. And it's 53-50 with 4:36 remaining. So 4:36 to go. Cal Poly Pomona 53, Cal State LA 50. Cal Poly Pomona received a reset on the 30-second shot clock, now down to 24 seconds. 4:29 to play. Marsh being guarded by Powell. Marsh bounce pass into Blackwell, and I think LaFontaine reached in. We'll see if she's called for the foul, but it's going to go against Cal State LA.
Bronco foul is on number 32, Destiny.
And indeed, Destiny LaFontaine. Jada Blackwell will go to the free throw line. Already 4 for 4 in the second half. He makes the first one. 6 points at the free throw line, 10 in the second half for Jada Blackwell. And the second one misses. So Blackwell tonight at the free throw line is 5 of 8. 54-50. 4 minutes to play in regulation. And Cal State LA without a shot there. Into the front court comes Jakey. Cal Poly Pomona holding on to that 4-point lead. Cal State LA having some problems converting when they have possession of the basketball here down the stretch. 10 on the shot clock. Blackwell muscles her way in. I think for Blackwell now we have her unofficially with a lot more points than what we have in our book, but there's a timeout on the floor. 3:25 to play in women's bracket semifinal number 1. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 56 and Cal State LA 50, so a half a dozen point lead for the Broncos over the Golden Eagles. We'll remind you, you're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. And again, a reminder, as right now it is just after 7 o'clock here on the west coast of the United States. And so we are scheduled for an 8:05 tip-off 1 hour from now between Cal State Dominguez Hills and Chico State. And of course, we were talking to our good buddy Mike Baca from KPAY, AM 1290 radio in Chico, and the voice of the Chico State Wildcats, talking earlier today. And we think that the second women's bracket semifinal tonight is going to be a barn burner from the get-go between the Toros and the Wildcats. Chico State won both regular season games, but the 2 games by a combined 5 points. All right, inbound to Melville, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Ten seconds to shoot, 3:10 on the scoreboard. Now 5 on the shot clock. Powell launches for 3, that misses wide left. By coming up with the rebound and a reset was on the scoreboard, but now in a scramble, Ariel Marsh in the backcourt comes up with the ball, and we'll see who the foul is going to be against. It should be against Cal State LA. Indeed, it's against Faith Fantroy. Fantroy, that's her 3rd. Ariel Marsh at the free throw line, 56-50. In and out as Marsh misses. But Lovett comes up with the bucket after unofficially with 10 in the ball game. And it's a 58-50 lead as the score and the time starting to get away from Cal State LA. With 2.5 minutes to play, and the Golden Eagles are down by 8 points. Well, they get 2 of them right back there on the bucket by LaFontaine. 5 points for LaFontaine, all here in the second half. 58-52, 2:19 left. Jakey with the basketball. To Blackwell, now to Judge. 10 to shoot. 2:05 on the scoreboard. Marsh. And Marsh loses the ball, and coming up with it is Iwe Okumboa. Okumboa scores and will go to the free throw line. Jakey called with the foul, her 4th personal. Okumboa with 17 points. She misses the free throw. She's 1 for 3. Follow-up shot, that doesn't fall. And Blackwell will come up with the rebound for Cal Poly Pomona as the Broncos lead 58-54 with 1:42 to go. Still only a 4-point ball game. Marsh trying to take some time off the clock, 15 to shoot. Exactly 90 seconds left in the game, and Marsh for 2 points. Marsh unofficially with 15 tonight. 60-54, 1:21 remaining. Powell shot in and out, rebounded by Blackwell. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor with 1:15 left in the game with the score. Cal Poly Pomona 60 and Cal State LA 54. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. So much fun having the Cal Poly Pomona cheerleaders and pep band here as they entertain the fans at CBB Arena in Ontario, California. Hope you'll come out tomorrow night. A Saturday night of basketball men's championship game at 5 o'clock. Cal State Stanislaus versus Chico State. The women's championship game at 7:30 might include this Cal Poly Pomona Broncos team if they can hold on for the next minute and 14 seconds as Cal Poly Pomona leads Cal State LA 60-54. If Cal Poly Pomona holds on and wins this game, they will face the winner of Cal State Dominguez Hills and Chico State. Again, that will be an 8:05 tip-off here live on Liquid Event TV tonight. And the free throw was missed by Jakey. And now it's almost desperation time. And off-balance shot taken by Samantha Lee. Now Paige Melville for 2. Melville has had a big game. That's unofficially for Melville. 21 points to pace Cal State LA. Okumboa with at least 15, possibly 17. Jada Blackwell with 15. Ariel Marsh with 13. Marsh at the charity stripe, 1 for 1 tonight. And she makes that one. Actually, that was 1 for 1 in the first half.
1 shot remaining.
2 for 3 at the line tonight for Ariel Marsh. And she makes that one too. And that may have been just the final nail. 62-56 with 45 seconds remaining. It's not impossible, but Cal State LA needs some three-point baskets, and they are needed in a hurry as we have 39.3 seconds. Scoreboard running 9.3 seconds ahead of the shot clock.
10 seconds on the clock for replacement time.
So now they're going to put the shot clock at 20 seconds. Scoreboard still remains 39.3. Paige Melville at the free throw line. Melville tonight, this is her first free throw of the evening. And she makes the first one as it rattles in. Melville with a big second half. And she gets the second one, and unofficially we have her at 11 points. She had 12 in the first half. That would give her 23, as there is a timeout on the floor with 39.3 seconds left. With the score, Cal Poly Pomona 62 and Cal State LA 58. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. Win or lose, for the second night in a row, Cal State LA has certainly made the last couple minutes of regulation very, very interesting. They took the lead with 9.9 seconds last night to hold on and defeat UC San Diego 60-56 after being down by 21 points late in the first half. Tonight, Cal State LA down by 11 points, 35-24 at the half. And right now, they are just 4 points behind Cal Poly Pomona. The problem is there's only 39.3 seconds remaining in regulation, and the Broncos have the basketball as it's inbounded by Blackwell to Ariel Marsh. Marsh past the 10-second line, and I think the intentional foul reaching in should be against Okunboa. Check that. They're going to charge Paige Melville with her fourth personal foul. That'll send Marsh to the free throw line, where she has been 2 for 3 here in the first half. Three of 5 on the evening. And the first free throw is good. That one is good as well. 64-58, and it looks like Cal Poly Pomona, the #1 seed, will advance. We'll know for sure in about another 25.3 seconds, but it's certainly starting to look that way. Samantha Lee with her third personal foul. Lee has not scored in the game tonight. Ashley Lovett going to the free throw line. And Lovett makes the free throw. For Lovett, she's now 3 of 3 at the line. That gives Lovett 10 points. And make it 11. I have her with 12. And Marsh coming up with the ball with 15 seconds to play. Shot clock turned off a long time ago. Just trying to dribble out the time, and now Marsh will be fouled. And there's a timeout with 8.6 seconds remaining. And Cal Poly Pomona with a 66-58 lead. Again, a reminder, we'll be back on the air at 8 o'clock tonight, Pacific Standard Time. That will be in about 45 minutes from now. And while we have a moment, a reminder, Saturday night when you go to bed, most parts of the country, be sure to set your clock ahead 1 hour, 2 a.m. Sunday, we go back to daylight savings time. My second favorite day of the year. We're only right behind opening day of Major League Baseball, so I'm very excited to have the extra daylight starting on Sunday. So be sure Saturday night, set your clock ahead. Remember, spring forward. Marsh, and she's just going to dribble. Buzzer sounds. That's the end of the ball game with the score. The Cal Poly Pomona Broncos 66 and the California State University Los Angeles Golden Eagles 58. As the #1 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos, they advance. They will play in the women's bracket championship game, 7:30 tomorrow night. Now the question is, who will they play? And we'll find out when that game tips off in 48 minutes from now. That will be Chico State and Cal State Dominguez Hills. So again, the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos, the number 1 seed, they advance. Again, the final score, Cal Poly Pomona 66 and Cal State LA 58. Now for our entire Liquid Event TV crew, David Smock saying so long from CBB Arena in Ontario, California. Again, Cal Poly Pomona, a winner tonight by 8 points. We'll see you back here in about 45 minutes. Until then, thank you for watching. Good night. Now and forever, across America and around the world, you're watching Liquid Event TV.